So I'm recording this video just because I'm yapping and I'm just really thinking about what I went through. And so I've been sleeping in the whip for about, I don't even know, 20 months or something like that now. And there was a time where I didn't have a car. So I was sleeping outside. I was sleeping on Candy Way Trail. And, you know, when I think back to how I was sleeping outside in the night with a duffel bag, an alarm clock, and my Orlando Health bag, and I was just trying to figure it out. Cause Sally Mae on my fucking ass, taking away all my money, right? $620 gone like that every single month with a 12.3% interest rate since 2020. Going through the pandemic, the entire pandemic, I was making payments. I was working 3 jobs, right? 3 part-time jobs, 2020, 2021, only bringing in $2,200 a week, working over 70 hours. Going from that, and even before that, when I was a student at Full Sail, and I had to walk an hour and 20 minutes. I'm on the same road right now, about to drive to the storage unit to take this suit and rack it up. I walked this same road since 2017. And, before I even graduated, it was a struggle. When I was walking 3.3 miles to go to school, 3.3 miles to go back, went home, no furniture in the apartment. The apartment only getting covered by Mohila, freaking living expense checks. Going deeper and deeper into debt, not really understanding what I was going into because I was only 18 at the time, 19 years old. Then I graduate, can't even get a job, applied to over 300 jobs. Couldn't get a job in the industry. Probably every 200 jobs, I got maybe 1.5 interviews. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like, when I think back to all the trials and tribulations, fast forward, I'm getting a better job. I'm starting to make a little bit more, but now I'm just trying so hard to, you know, survive with rent, keeping an apartment, no furniture in it. My mattress was on the floor for half of the time I was a student at Full Sail. And the worst thing about it is I knew for a fact, and people would always tell me this: don't go to school. It doesn't guarantee a job. You're going to be in debt. And the pressure from my family and society, led me to this. Did I learn a lot? Yes. But for me, I'm all about when it comes to me and when it comes to adversity. Here's what I learned, and I had to learn this the hard way, is that no one gives a damn about what you've been through. No one's gonna hold your hand, no one's gonna save you. You gotta do it by yourself. You have to ensure that you are in a stable situation for yourself. Your family can tell you XYZ, even get you in debt, and you still don't you still don't have that foundation, that stability. Let me go back because it's just a lot of emotions and a lot of thoughts. Been sleeping in the whip for over 20 months. For the first month, I didn't have a car. I was sleeping on Candyway Trail. I was sleeping at some innings. I grabbed a tent. I was sleeping in a tent in like some dilapidated area. I was sleeping on Candyway Trail. And I barely got sleep. Then I was like, man, this isn't sustainable. I gotta find something better. So I get a car. I go to the dealership. I didn't really expect to get a car, but shit. By the time I stepped in, I stepped out with one. They really like wrapped me into that shit quick. But, I put like $1,000 down, and I was looking at the interest. It was 28 point something percent interest rate on an $8,000 loan for this car. I have a 2007 Lexus ES350. The original price that was on the website was like $7,000 with the loan and all this other nonsense and the fees. It was like $8,000. So I saw the interest rate. Keep in mind, by this time, I have a knowledge of how interest rates and all this stuff works because I've been dealing with Sally Mae ads. So I'm like, I gotta get rid of this shit quick, okay? Now, at the time, when I was an agent at my job, I'm a team leader now, but when I was an agent, during week 1 and week 4, I was allowed to have unlimited overtime. On top of having unlimited overtime those weeks, I'm at the unit right now, but on top of having unlimited overtime those weeks, I had another job, the golf course, Interlochen Country Club. And that's my first job, and I've been working there since 2019. I was working there like part-time, but sometimes occasionally full-time hours. But it wasn't consistent. Most of the time I was doing 36 hours there. And then I would do 7 hours at Dollar General on Tuesdays, 7 hours on Thursdays, because I was the PM shift. So I would wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, go to the country club, riding my bicycle. This was back when I had an apartment. Riding my bicycle to the country club, clock in at 5:15. So really, I was waking up probably like 4:45. It was like a 10-minute bike ride, very close to my old apartment at Red Lion, right across from Dollar General. I would go there, clock in at 5:15. Then I would leave about 1:20, 1 something. Then I would go to my apartment, change my clothes, eat some food, go to Dollar General, clock in around like 3 o'clock. Yeah, like 3 o'clock. Shower 2, go to Dollar General, clock in. I would leave at 11. Then I'll wake up again at 5:15 to go back to the golf course the next day. I was 20 years old. 20, 21. So it's like, and now what I'm going through, sleeping in a whip. What broke the ice to make me get a car was one time I was sleeping on Candyway Trail and the dude was tapping my pockets. So what I would do is I had a bike, right? I still have it. It's in the unit. It's a black Specialized bike. I got it off of Facebook Market for like 100 and something, and the dude gave me a deal too. But I had that bike, and I had my duffel bag, and I had my Orlando Health bag. So with my duffel bag, so I would use my bike lock, right? On Candyway Trail, it's like this bridge that goes over the street, and they have railings, these railings. So I would take my bike, I would wrap it around the railing, and I would wrap it around my bike, the railing, and my duffel bag, and click, and then lock it into place. And then I laid on it, right? And it's funny because it was a specific day where I was sleeping. Now I was on the opposite side and I was trying to get some sleep. And some dude, he was walking by. He was a good distance away from me. He was like, "Hey man, you probably don't want to sleep here. Some dude was staring at you." I don't know if he said he had to shoo him away or whatever. But I was like, all right. I had nowhere else to go. So then I went to the other side, and then I was sleeping, and then I wake up to some dude tapping my pockets. Barely saw the dude. I knew he was black, and I think he had like a, it wasn't a do-rag, or like, it was almost like a lock cap. Not a lock cap. Like I have one right here. Oh, damn it. It's like for locks, right? So it's like a headlock thing for, I don't know why this, god damn it. That's another thing. I need to get this car in great shape too. But I had that. Well, he had that. So when he was tapping my pockets, I woke up. Keep in mind, it's like 3 a.m. I see him. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, hey. And then I grab him. I looked like the Undertaker. It was hilarious, but also not. I grabbed him by the neck, right? Because I woke up. Keep in mind, I'm laying down. I'm laying down like this, right? Then I just open my eyes and I see a black silhouette right above me. I grab him by the neck. I'm like, hey, right? Then we start tussling. I grab him in the headlock. Then he slips out. And then I'm like, keep in mind, the biggest thing I'm worried about is having my phone. It's not this phone, because eventually I got a better phone, but I did get my phone back. I grabbed him by the headlock. He slipped out. Then, like, I grab his leg. And the funny thing is, we weren't, like, punching each other or anything. It was like jujitsu. But I was struggling. I was malnourished. I was tired, sleep deprived. So I was doing my best, trying to grab him, really just trying to get my phone. I'm like, drop it. Then I get him in the headlock again. I still have the scar. This happened like 20 months ago. Like this, my wrist scraped the concrete. And I get him in a headlock again. He slips out again, and then just starts bolting. He was so goddamn fast. I was like, how is he so fast? Shoom. Dude was like flat. He had to run track. Because I'm in decent shape. Again, I was sleep deprived, malnourished. But like, this man ran fast. And I was like, damn. I into my head, I said to myself, why don't I have a fucking gun? And he was gone. And the first thing I thought was, yo, I hope he dropped it. Because a whole lot of shit was on the ground that he dropped. So I'm looking at the ground. I'm looking. I see like the lock cap thing he had. He dropped that. And then I see my phone. It was an older phone that I had. eventually I upgraded my phone, treated myself. When you're going through something like this, rewarding yourself with small things definitely helps. But my phone was a hot mess too. It wasn't working correctly. But my phone at the time was on the ground, and I was like, thank God. And the first two people I was thinking about was my mom and my ex. And I was like, damn, like, people are going to reach out to me and I won't be able to respond because this motherfucker has my phone. And again, thank God I was able to get my phone. But after that situation, I was like, this shit's unsustainable. I got to find a car. And it's funny because with a car, again, it's not the most comfortable thing, but to get out of debt, to make sure that you're able to keep more of the money that you work hard for, you got to do what you got to do. And it comes down to, like I was saying, it's hot. Like I was saying, nobody's going to save you. Yes, family's there, but they don't know about this shit. And it's mainly because they won't approve of it. And I know what some people might say, oh, you could have went back and lived with your family. You could have did that. Still, it would have cost money. And ultimately, I needed to be where the jobs were at. There's more jobs opportunities here in Orlando than there is Maplewood, New Jersey. And realistically, I would just end up commuting to New York. And when I graduated at the time, it was a different time. And then right after COVID happened, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna make sure that I'm stable, that I have my independence, and I get out of this situation. So after that, that's when I went to the dealership. I went to Jimmy Motors. I don't even know if they still there, but I went to them and got the car. And now I've been just paying shit off and improving my life. My hygiene has gone up, ironically. My style has gone up, ironically. Going on Shein, going to Men's Warehouse, going to Amazon. Just because you are homeless don't mean you need to look it. So, I'm more dressed up and put together than ever. You need to shower, go to the gym. I was going to the gym before anyway because I want to stay in great shape. Now I'm getting in even better shape. You need mail? How you get shit from Shein and Amazon? You gotta get a P.O. box. The P.O. box was right across from my job. So right after work, went to go to my P.O. box. You gotta get creative. Because again, no one's gonna save you, no one's gonna fix your situation. And I hope that, I'm gonna make a more in-depth video probably in the future that I can look back on. But ultimately, my goal is to entertain people. I'm a rapper, E-Money Ocean. I had that stage name since I was in elementary, since middle school. 2012 is when I started rapping. I love music. It's crazy because music is like a drug for me. Even if I never released music, I would still make demos. I got about 30 something demos on my phone right now that I haven't released or got mixed and mastered. And it's because I truly love music, man. And it's it's funny because it's almost like a curse. Because part of me wants to quit music because it's not even like, it's not the priority. And right now it's not. But even when it's not the priority in my life, I can be in a corner just jamming. I'm still bumping Gleam. I'm still listening to demos. I plan on re-releasing Gleam and getting it remixed and remastered. But again, my story goes deep. And I'm definitely going to provide more information in the future. But here's what I'll say, because there's so much to unpack with what I've been going through since 2017 to now 20 it's August, what is it? August 14th, 2025. Within those years, those 8 years, um I've gone through a lot, and there's a lot to unpack. But almost the anniversary of Gleam. But what I'll say is this: even in the future, say I do become successful in music, it's not going to be the fact that I'm successful that makes me such a alluring person or someone that people genuinely want to support, but it's the story. And I don't even want to say it's story, because it almost, not necessarily saying it's fictional just by saying the word story, but it's the history. It's the journey. That's the word. The journey. What I've gone through from point A reaching to point Z. That journey. And being able to look at that and be like, wow. But for me personally, the journey is only good and only meaningful if you reach the end, if you cross that finish line. And what does that look like for me? Right now, if I could make $25,000 to $30,000 a month off of my music just from streaming and like merch sales every month consistently, I hit the jackpot. I'm a multimillionaire. I, Now, realistically, no, but shit, a fucking apartment's only so much. A house is only so much. Like, if you were making that consistently, and obviously you want to be careful for lifestyle inflation, but after a while, if you're making that consistently, all you need is a 1-bedroom apartment. Now, by then, you probably want to look towards houses and stuff, but man, all I know is if I could make that kind of money consistently, and that I have hardcore fans, almost like stans, that just love my music and appreciate it as much as I appreciate it and enjoy listening to my own music, I would feel fulfilled. So, Edmund, if you're looking back at this video, this most likely will go on the FDS channel. But Edmund, looking back in this video, and if you show whoever, I just hope that, one, you pay off Sally Mae, you pay off Mohila, you get gyno surgery like you always wanted. Because I've had gynecomastia since I was in elementary school. And that you keep on working towards music because you love it. You're addicted to it, literally. I've tried kava, I tried kratom, I tried edibles, I've tried Hawaiian baby wood roast, I've tried alcohol. Nothing makes me feel as good as music, bro. That's crazy. I haven't tried the other stuff, but shit, like, most of the time those things get people hooked. What am I hooked on? Some 808s. But, you gotta find the joy in life when you're going through something this tough. You don't have a significant other. Your family doesn't really know about this situation, nor would they be, you know, supportive of it. But at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about what people approve of. It's about what you need to do to make it. Because me being in debt and having all the shit that I have to deal with is because I listen to other people. But you have your own mind. You have your own goals. And this applies to you who's watching this. Say I do become successful and you're a fan of me. You have to realize that, one, No one cares about your success more than you. Even your own mother and father, grandparents, whoever, parents who raised you, no one cares about your success more than you. When you're a baby, when you're a 1 year old and you can't support yourself, yeah, people care about you more than you care about yourself, but that's because you don't realize yourself. You don't know yourself. You don't even have that self um consciousness. You know what I mean? You're fully dependent on people. But when you're an adult, when you're out in the real world, you have to support yourself. Not saying that people won't be there for you, not saying that people can't support you. But what I'm saying is, no one's willing to die for your success. No one's willing to sleep in a car for 20 months for you to pay off debt. No one is willing to, sell things and belongings to ensure that you're successful. No one's willing to die for you to be successful. And that's how it should be, because realistically, you're the only one that should be doing that for you. So again, if I do make it and you're a fan of me and you're watching this video, I want to tell you this. No one's going to care about your success more than you. You have your own mind. Remember that. So the sacrifices and everything you do is for you. And most importantly, connections are everything. I know based on everything I've said, it may seem like I don't care about connections or anything of that nature, but that's just because of what I'm going through currently. When my situation is stable, when everything in my life is aligned, connections are going to be the forefront. Think back to when you were a kid and you were running around during recess. What was your concerns? Getting new toys and friends and some girl or some guy you had a crush on. So it wasn't about rent. It wasn't about all this adult shit. And that's what I believe you should go back to, is making sure that your life is so stable, that you have everything so aligned, that your job isn't stressing you out 24/7, for one. Two, you're able to financially support yourself as needed. And three, you can focus on connections, because that's ultimately what you need to do. Because when you're laying on your deathbed, the last things you're going to think about is about how much money and how hard you worked. Even when I'm successful in music, it won't be, oh, I worked so hard. I remember when I performed in front of 50,000 people. It's going to be my significant other, my wife, my kids, if I have any. You know what I mean? That's what you're going to think about and prioritize. Your friends, your family. But I know right now where I'm at currently, I don't even want to I can't afford to make that a priority where I'm at currently. But I plan on getting all my debt and all this nonsense paid off in about 2 more years or so. I paid off. I almost became a truck driver, a CDL truck driver. I went to what was that driving school? I forgot the name of the driving school, but I didn't finish. And I had some shit in collections, and I worked some shit out with them, sleeping in the whip. I had a little bit of extra funds. 1,500. I gave them 1,500. They closed the account. It was the collections. It was in like 5,000. It was originally 5,000. We worked out a deal, 1,500. My credit went up by 20 points. Now, only thing on my credit, looking on Credit Karma, is Sallie Mae and Mohila. I had a private loan, Lending Point. I had that for 2 years before going through everything I needed to, because I took that shit out to pay Sally Mae because it's on a fixed monthly plan. So if I pay a little bit extra within 1 month, if I pay 2 months and in 1 month, I wouldn't have to pay the next month. So I'm trying to get rid of all this debt. But also the car needs repairs. It runs deep. I really need to use the bathroom, but again, you just gotta do what you gotta do to make sure that you're successful and that your situation is good. So for anybody, again, watching this video, you might be asking me, where do you get the drive? Where do you get the determination? At the end of the day, it's not drive, it's not determination. It's knowing you got to do what you have to do to make sure your future you is good. Everything I'm doing right now is to ensure the future me is solid. And knowing that, you're literally gifting yourself. So, hope this helps.